Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're plunging into a really fascinating cross-section of the Japanese entertainment industry.
Yeah, we've got some interesting official sources to work from.
Right, specific recent ones. And they kind of give us like a snapshot, don't they?
Exactly. We've got one about a major publisher, Kadokawa, and what they're doing at a big fan event.
Okay.
Then there's another that zooms right in on some very specific merchandise for a popular series. And a third one that's actually about something quite different. A new educational program, believe it or not, for training future online stars.
Wow, okay. So 3 quite different angles.
Yeah, a mix.
So it's like holding up these 3 different lenses, to see how this whole dynamic world is operating right now.
From the big corporate moves, the massive fan events,
Down to the like tiny details of specific character figures.
and even how they're training the creators of tomorrow is quite the range.
Absolutely. So our mission today is basically to unpack these bits of info.
Dig into them.
Yeah, pull out the most interesting nuggets, connect the dots where we can, even if they seem separate at first.
And hopefully give you a clearer, more informed picture of what's bubbling up right now.
Okay, let's dive in then. Where should we start?
Let's kick off with the biggest player represented here, Kadokawa,
Right?
and their plans for Comic Market 106, C106.
The C106, yeah. And the source gives us some background on Kadokawa just to set the stage.
It does. Head office in Tokyo, CEO Tsuyoshi Natsuno.
Listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange Prime Market. That's, pretty significant.
Definitely tells you they're a major force. Established October 2014, which feels relatively recent.
But look at the capital, 65.6 billion yen.
Yeah, that's serious financial clout. They're not just, a book publisher anymore.
Yeah.
They're a huge media conglomerate.
Deeply embedded in the whole content scene. So what are they actually doing at C106?
Well, the source says they'll have a corporate booth.
Okay, a corporate booth at Comic-Con. That's interesting in itself, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
Because Comic-Con, started as this legendary doujinshi event, self-published stuff.
Right, for fans, by fans, basically. Amateur creators, fan circles.
Exactly. But it's just grown into this absolutely massive cultural phenomenon over the years. Hundreds of thousands of people.
Cute.
So now, it's almost essential for the big commercial players like Kadokawa to be there too.
To connect directly with that really passionate core fan base, I guess.
That's the idea. And the source gives us the specifics for C106 too.
Okay, lay them on us.
Dates are August 16th, it's a Saturday, and August 17th, Sunday, 2025.
Right, 2025. Got it.
Hours are 10:40 a.m. to 5:40 p.m. on Saturday.
And Sunday.
A little shorter on Sunday, closes at 4:00 p.m.
Okay, pretty standard for the last day. Location.
Tokyo Big Site,
Huh.
Tokyo International Exhibition Center, the usual spot.
Yeah, that place must be absolutely buzzing during Comic-Con.
Oh, it's intense. And we even know Kadokawa's specific booth location.
Really? Where?
West 34 Hall, booth number 1211.
West 34. That usually means a pretty decent-sized space, doesn't it, for the corporate booths?
Typically, yes. It suggests they're not just tucking themselves in a corner, they're making a statement with their presence.
Right. And it's all organized by the Comic Market Preparatory Committee.
The same group that's guided its growth all these years.
Okay, so they have this big booth. What are they actually selling? That's what people really want to know, right?
Absolutely. The source says limited and advanced sale goods from popular titles.
Ah, the magic words. Limited and advanced.
That's the main draw for going in person, isn't it?
Okay.
Getting stuff early or things
Oh.
you can only buy there.
Totally. So which titles did they mention?
It's a strong lineup. Kantai Collection, Kankal,
Okay, still huge.
Love Live, Hasuno Sora, Jogakuen School Idol Club,
Another big one,
Bungo Stray Dogs,
right?
and ReZero Starting Life in Another World.
Okay. So a mix of ongoing powerhouses and more recent hits, all with pretty dedicated fan bases you'd expect to see at Comic-Con.
Exactly. But then there's this other item listed.
Oh, what is it?
Alongside the usual character goods. Omamori.
Omamori, like the shrine charms.
Yeah, Japanese good luck charms or amulets,
Yeah.
specifically from Muzashino Reiwa Shrine.
Wait, Kadokawa is selling shrine charms at Comic-Con.
That's what the source says.
Huh. That's unexpected. Why would they do that?
Well, that's the intriguing question, isn't it? It's not your typical anime merch.
Not at all. Isn't there like a Kadokawa series set there or something? Or connected to that shrine?
The source doesn't say. It could be a specific collaboration we don't know about, maybe tapping into that whole anime pilgrimage trend.
Or maybe just something really different to catch people's eye. A bit of luck for your gotcha pulls, maybe.
Could be. It definitely stands out from the usual posters and keychains. It suggests they might be trying things that connect to broader Japanese culture, not just their specific anime or manga IPs.
It's a curious detail for sure. Adds a bit of mystery to their booth strategy.
It does. Now, the physical booth is obviously key to the comic vibe,
Hmm.
but Kadokawa is also very much online.
Right, they have to be these days. The source mentions online sales.
Yes, heavily integrated. They're running online sales through their official shop, Kadosto.
Good news, too. Okay.
And they've even branded it C106 Kadokawa Booth online in Kadosto.
Catchy. So how does that work? Is it just selling leftovers after the event?
No, actually, what's really interesting is the timing. The online sales started way before the event,
Before? When?
June 13th, 2025, at 5 p.m., and they're planned to run until August 31st, 11:59 p.m.
Whoa, hold on. June 13th to August 31st. That's like 2.5 months.
Exactly, way longer than the actual two-day Comic-Con event.
Okay, that's a significant strategy shift. Why so long?
The source says the purpose is to let people participate even if they can't physically go to big site.
Which makes sense. Reaching international fans, people who couldn't get tickets. Comic tickets are hard to get right.
Notoriously difficult for some slots, and, just people who prefer shopping online.
So it leverages the comic at height, but massively expands who can actually buy the stuff?
Precisely. And it's not just an afterthought. The source notes that the online inventory is separate from the venue stock.
Meaning things can sell out online even if they still have some at the booth?
Yeah, or vice versa, potentially. It's its own parallel sales operation, not just clearing out physical leftovers.
Smart. Are they doing anything to encourage online sales?
They mention a free shipping campaign for eligible items,
Ah, the classic incentive.
though they do add the usual disclaimer that some items might be excluded.
Okay.
But yeah, it helps nudge people towards the online store, especially if they are on the fence about shipping costs.
Makes sense. And the source mentioned Kadosto itself? What kind of platform is it?
It describes it as Kadokawa's official online shop. Sells a whole range of stuff, anime goods, Blu-rays, DVDs, comics, light novels,
The whole Kadoko universe, basically.
pretty much. And they highlight exclusive benefits and original products available only there. So it's clearly their main direct-to-consumer channel year-round, not just for events.
Gotcha. And if people want the nitty-gritty details on what exactly Kadokawa is offering for C106.
The source points them to the Kadokawa C106 special website and their Event Info Exp account, formerly Twitter.
Okay, standard practice. Keep an eye on those for updates. So let's analyze this a bit. Why is Comic at C106 still so important for a giant like Kadokawa?
Well, I think even though they're huge, they get the value of that direct fan interaction.
Like being there in person.
Yeah. Comic-It isn't just a trade show, right? It has that deep history in fan culture.
Yeah.
Being there, having a booth, letting fans see you, interact with staff, feel the excitement.
It builds loyalty, creates buzz.
Exactly. You gauge reactions instantly. You generate talk on social media. It's about showing you're still connected to the core community that loves your stuff.
Okay, I see that.
Right.
And blending that physical presence with this really extensive online sales strategy via Kadosto.
That feels very modern. It's a multi-channel approach that seems perfectly suited to how fandom works now.
Oh, so?
You get the energy and focus of the physical event, the must-be-there feeling.
But you use that as a launchpad for the online store, which runs for ages.
Right. You capture everyone who couldn't make it. You smooth out the buying frenzy, maybe. Potentially use pre-orders to guest demand.
It makes it more efficient, reaches more people globally.
Yeah, it's basically maximizing reach and sales potential.
Yeah.
It acknowledges that fans live both physically at events and digitally online, and you got to cater to both sides.
Makes sense. What about the specific titles they chose? Can Call, Love Live, Bungo Stray Dogs, ReZero. What does that lineup tell us?
I mean, it looks like a calculated selection of their big hitters, doesn't it?
Yeah, seems like it.
You've got long-running franchises like Can Call and Love Live with huge established fan bases. Then Bungo Stray Dogs and ReZero are massive recent successes, especially the anime adaptations.
So bringing exclusive merch for these is basically targeting the fans most likely to show up and spend.
Pretty much. It's showcasing their most active and valuable IPs across different genres and demographics. It's like rolling out the A-Team to generate maximum hype in sales.
Okay, but we still have that slightly weird one, the Omamori, the Shrine Charms.
Yeah, that Musashino Reiwa Shrine Charm. It's still the odd one out.
Any more thoughts on why?
Well, without more info from the source, it's speculation, right? But maybe it's a deeper collaboration tied to a specific Kadokawa property, like a light novel or manga set there.
Or maybe Kadokawa has some kind of partnership with the shrine itself for cultural promotion or something.
That's possible too. Or it could just be a unique, slightly quirky item meant to be memorable. A
Oh,
good luck token for the fans. It definitely adds an unexpected flavor.
it really does. Okay, so that's Kadokawa at Comic It, big presence, blended strategy, key titles, and a curious charm. Let's shift focus now.
Right, from the macro level of a huge event down to something much more specific, merchandise design.
Yeah, this next piece comes from Oami Inc. They run the big online hobby store Amiami.
And it's about new figures being released by the manufacturer Mega House.
Okay, Mega House, they make good stuff. Which series?
It's from Gintama, still super popular.
Oh, Gintama, nice. Which characters?
The Tsugi Shinsuke and Kamui?
Ah, key characters. And what kind of figures are they? Anything special about them?
Yes, they belong to a specific figure series called Yu, which is pronounced look up.
Look up, as in looking up.
Exactly. The name comes straight from the English phrase look up.
Okay, so what does that mean for the figure design?
The source explains it really well. Their whole thing is this characteristic pose,
Ay,
which translates to,
looking up and sitting pose. They're designed to be sitting down, looking upwards towards you.
Ah, I get it. So if you put it on your desk.
It looks like it's looking up at you. The source specifically says this makes it easier to make eye contact compared to regular figures.
that's actually kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
So simple.
Yeah. Instead of a dynamic action pose you look down on, it's designed for that interaction, that connection when it's sitting there in your personal space.
Like on your desk while you work or a shelf nearby, it feels more present, maybe.
Yeah.
Engaging. Right. The source calls them the popular series, known for their cute gestures. It's about creating that little moment of connection.
I can see the appeal. What are the details? Price, size, release?
Okay, so manufacturer is Mega House. Amiami is handling pre-orders. Price is 4,400 yen each, tax included.
Pretty standard for that kind of figure.
Release is scheduled for late November 2025.
Okay, a little ways off. Size?
About 110 millimeters tall, so roughly 11 centimeters.
Perfect desk size then. Not too big, not too small.
Exactly, fits right in. And of course, the usual note that the images are prototypes and the final product might vary slightly.
Standard procedure. And Amiami's role here. The source mentioned them.
Yeah, described as a major hobby mail order company. They're the storefront, basically, taking the pre-orders, making these figures accessible to fans worldwide.
They're a huge hub for this stuff. The source even gives their website, amiami.jp.
Right. They're a key part of connecting the manufacturers like Mega House with the collectors.
Okay, so let's analyze this one. What's the real significance of these lookup figures? What makes them stand out?
I think it's that deliberate focus on interaction and, like, emotional connection.
Over just looking cool or being dynamic?
Yeah. The cute gesture, the upward gaze, it's all engineered to make you feel something, like a little companion sitting there.
It's tapping into that desire to have the character with you in your space, isn't it?
Exactly. It transforms it from just a static collectible into something that feels a bit more alive, more engaging on a personal level.
So what does the popularity of a series like this tell us about the figure market overall?
Well, it suggests the market is getting more diverse, more specialized.
It's not just about super detailed, expensive statues or cheap trading figures anymore.
Right. Companies like Mega House are finding niches by focusing on specific collector desires, like how and where people display figures and what kind of connection they want.
So the success of Lookup means there's a real demand for figures that are like accessible, fit easily on a desk, and offer that interactive feel.
Seems like it. It shows innovation isn't just about scale or detail. It can also be about design that resonates emotionally and fits into everyday life.
And choosing Gintama for this.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Gintama has such a dedicated, long-lasting fan base.
Even though the main story's done, people still love the characters.
Exactly. So putting those characters into a popular, established figure format like Lookup taps right into that loyalty. It shows that strong IPs can keep driving new merchandise lines for years.
And Amiami's role is just crucial for getting these kinds of niche products out there.
Absolutely. They aggregate all that global demand. Their pre-order system lets Mega House know how many to make, and it guarantees fans can actually get their hands on them. They were the essential link.
Okay, fascinating. The world of merchandise is always innovating in interesting ways. Right, let's switch gears completely now.
Yeah, moving from the products to the people making the content that inspires them.
This third piece of info is about training the next generation of online talent.
That's right. It's news from an educational organization, School Corporation 21st Century Academia.
Okay.
And it concerns a new course they've launched at one of their schools, Nagoya Visual Arts Academy, or NVA.
Nagoya Visual Arts. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the course?
It's called the Net Talent Influencer course.
A whole course for influencers. Wow.
Yeah, and it's part of their performing arts department, which is interesting in itself, framing online creation as a performance discipline.
That makes sense, actually. But what's really notable about this course?
According to the source, the big deal is its official recognition. The school says it's the first specialized course for training net talents and influencers in the Chubu region of Japan,
Okay.
to be officially recognized by MEXT, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, as of April 19th, 2025.
MEXT recognition. Okay, that is significant. That gives it real legitimacy, doesn't it? Formalizes it as proper vocational training.
Exactly. It brings structure and official standing to this relatively new career path.
And it's up and running already.
Yet the source says the first batch of students enrolled already, so it's happening now.
What's the main goal? What kind of talent are they trying to produce?
The source uses the phrase empathetic communicators.
Empathetic communicators. I like that. It's not just about chasing views.
Right, it implies building a real connection. And they specifically list the types of talent they aim for. YouTubers, VTubers,
Of course.
you take the online singers,
Yeah, the cover artists.
and general SNS influencers. So covering the main bases of online content creation.
Why launch this now? What's the school's reasoning?
They point directly to the obvious,
Mm.
the huge growth of social media, and the massive demand for skilled online personalities that's come with it.
Companies are using influencers all the time for promotion now.
Exactly. So NVA, positioning itself as an entertainment innovation college, sees this as responding to a clear industry need. They're basically trying to professionalize the pipeline for this talent.
Makes sense. What does the actual curriculum look like? What are they teaching these aspiring YouTubers and VTubers?
It's a really interesting mix, judging by the source. You've got the core digital skills you'd expect.
Like video editing, streaming tech.
Yeah. Net literacy,
Yeah.
practicals and live streaming, specific VTuber practice.
Yeah.
Video editing, planning and producing online content, marketing basics, how to use SNS effectively, all that practical
With
stuff.
the nuts and bolts.
But then they combine that heavily with performance and creative skills, like you'd find in a more traditional arts program.
Such as?
Self-production, how to direct yourself, pronunciation and articulation training, narration skills, basic singing, dance and acting.
Wow, really?
Wow.
Dance and acting.
Yeah. Plus practicals for being a radio personality and even training in free talk.
Free talk, like just talking off the cups.
Essentially, yeah. Improvisation, conversation skills, vital for live streaming and interacting with chat, right?
Absolutely crucial. So it's a real blend of tech skills and performance arts.
It really is. It acknowledges you need both to succeed online today. You need to be technically competent and an engaging performer.
How about the learning environment? Is it all just classroom stuff?
No, the source emphasizes their Kinba Shugi philosophy.
Kemba Shugi, meaning?
Hands-on learning, focus on real-world practice. They highlight having professional-grade studios right in the school.
What kind of studios?
They name a couple. Yabacho Studio on the main campus and Colors 366 Nagoya at a satellite campus.
And these are properly equipped.
Described as having professional distribution facilities, used for actual training, planning meetings, live streaming practice, not just mock-ups.
So students get experience with pro gear from the start.
Seems so. They also mentioned recording studios, anime voice acting studios, dance studios, photo studios, a whole suite of facilities.
And even personal distribution booths, like little streaming pods.
Yeah, that detail suggests they're really set up for individual practice, too. It all reinforces that hands-on, learn-by-doing approach.
That sounds pretty comprehensive. Any industry links?
Yes. A key one mentioned is a partnership with Showroom.
Ah, the live streaming platform.
Exactly. The collaboration apparently helps students make their debut as streamers on Showroom.
So a direct pathway to a real platform.
And it gives them chances to audition for opportunities that could lead to becoming popular influencers. It's bridging the gap between school and the actual industry.
That seems really valuable. Is it all just about skills training, though? Or is there more to their philosophy?
The source suggests something deeper. They aim to develop, like human depth and a social perspective.
Oh, so.
They want to create chosen communicators who aren't just chasing trends, but can build lasting connections. They do this through a few things.
Okay.
One is a multi-curriculum approach students can pick from like 50 related subjects outside the core course.
Like what?
Voice acting, dance, music, things to broaden their expressive range. It ties into crossover education, blend different creative skills.
Interesting. What else?
They have social artpreneur education.
Social artpreneur.
Yeah, students plan business projects that tackle social issues. So, using their platform for more than just entertainment, thinking about impact.
That adds another layer.
And finally, intercultural globalist education, interacting with international students, collaborating with diverse professionals, broadening their horizons for a potentially global audience.
So they're trying to cultivate well-rounded individuals, not just skilled technicians or performers. Give their communication breadth and depth, as the source puts it.
That seems to be the goal. And this leads into the career paths they envision. It's not just about becoming a famous solo creator.
Right, because that's incredibly hard and uncertain.
Exactly. The school seems very realistic about that. They leverage connections with business-focused sister schools within their parent corporation.
The 21st Century Academy Group.
Yeah, to provide routes into more traditional jobs like corporate PR or marketing.
Using the influencer skills in a company setting.
Precisely. They talk about graduates becoming employee influencers or signature employees.
So like being the company's social media face or using those communication skills internally or externally for the business.
That's the idea. It recognizes these online communication and digital marketing skills are highly valuable even within a standard corporate structure.
Plus, they get a formal qualification, right?
Yes, graduates earn the Senmanshi title. That's a recognized specialist degree in Japan.
Which opens doors for jobs requiring that level of education.
Right. So the whole program is framed as balancing that big dream of becoming a star with the practical ability to build a stable career. It offers a safety net.
That seems like a much more responsible approach, honestly.
It does. And the source gives a little context on the parent corporation, too, 21st Century Academa.
What's their philosophy?
Led by Hiroshi Tasaka, their big idea is that in the age of AI and automation, just having knowledge like from a university or just narrow technical skills isn't enough anymore.
Okay, what is enough then?
They focus on developing what they call 5 professional abilities. Basically, high-level human capacities needed for leadership and adapting to change.
And they have a specific method for this.
Yeah, a 7-step curriculum based on practical experience used across their network of schools. This new influencer course is basically applying that philosophy to this specific emerging field.
Got it. Okay, let's step back again. What does this formalization of influencer training really mean for the industry?
Well, first off, it's a huge validation, isn't it?
For online content creation as a real job.
Yeah. Moving it away from just being a hobby or pure luck. The MEXT recognition especially anchors it within the formal education system in Japan.
It signals the industry sees this as a sustainable field needing trained professionals.
Exactly. They need a reliable pipeline of talent.
And the curriculum itself, that mix of digital skills, performance training, social awareness, business sense.
That reflects a really mature understanding of what it takes now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You have to be multi-hyphenate.
You can't just be good at one thing. You need the tech, the performance, the marketing, the audience engagement.
And maybe even a sense of responsibility or social perspective. They're training for a complex role.
The hands-on approach, the Genbashugi, and that showroom partnership seem vital too.
Absolutely critical. It means students aren't just learning theory. They're doing it using pro tools, connecting with real platforms. It bridges that gap between classroom and career.
Giving them a real head start.
Definitely.
And the dual career path aspect. Aiming for stardom, but having the corporate backup plan.
I think that's incredibly smart and necessary. It addresses the inherent volatility of online fame.
Makes the whole prospect of studying this less risky for students.
For sure. It tells them, even if you don't become a huge star, the skills you learn here, communication, digital marketing, content creation, are highly valuable in today's job market. It broadens the definition of success.
Okay, so we've seen Kadokawa's big event strategy, the niche innovation in lookup figures, and now this formal training ground for online talent. How do these pieces fit together, if at all?
Well, when you put them side by side, you start to see the ecosystem, right?
How so?
Kadokawa represents the major content publisher and distributor, using events and online platforms to monetize popular IPs.
Okay.
The lookup figures represent the specialized merchandise world, creating products that deepen fan connection to the characters from those IPs sold through retailers like Ami Ami
Right.
and the NVA course. That's training the next generation of creators.
The people who might create the next hit manga or become the VTubers promoting Kadokawa's games, or whose characters become the next look-up figures.
Precisely. This school is investing in the future talent that fuels the entire system we see in the other two sources. It shows the industry is thinking long-term, actively cultivating the creators who will feed this cycle of content, promotion, and merchandise.
It really is a cycle, isn't it? Creation, adaptation, promotion, merchandising, and now formal education feeding back into creation.
Exactly. Taken together, these sources paint a picture of a really dynamic, adaptive Japanese entertainment industry. They're constantly finding new ways to engage fans, extract value from IP, and crucially, build the foundations for what comes next.
It's definitely not standing still.
Far from it.
So, just to recap, we've dived into how a major publisher like Kadokawa navigates huge fan events using both physical booths and extensive online sales.
We looked at the specific niche of lookup figures, showing how merchandise design evolves to foster that personal connection with characters.
And we explored the emergence of formal accredited training programs like NBAs, professionalizing the path for future online creators and feeding them into the broader industry.
It really highlights the interconnectedness and the constant evolution happening in this space.
Absolutely. It leaves you thinking, though, as this online talent becomes more formally trained, more integrated into established structures, how might that change the actual content we see?
That's a great question. Will become more polished, but maybe less raw or experimental compared to the early days. How does professionalization impact creativity and the creator-fan relationship?
And with companies blurring the lines so much between physical events and digital storefronts, and schools now offering degrees for roles that didn't even exist 15 years ago, where do you see those boundaries between traditional entertainment and digital content heading in the next few years? Are they just going to disappear completely?
Lots to think about there.
Definitely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive today.